Strike up that band, baby. It's a Player's Perspective live coming to you directly from Seven Springs Studio with my man Ken Swilling, my man Kim Jackson behind the glass, and my man T Cub, who is myself. Ready to come to y'all to have a great time. Call your friends, share, click and like, share. Let them know what's going on because the greatest sports talk, Georgia Tech's talk, the only talk in this ATL that's spreading worldwide on the web is right here on the Player's Perspective, baby. K-Solo.
What's going on, baby?
We won, baby.
Ooh, coming up at Victory Week.
Victory Week. Doing that victory lap.
There you go.
So we came through with that big old win last week.
Yeah.
I believe it was 46-27, 49-27, something like that, but it was a W.
It was a W.
It was a double. Another one for the win column made us 2-2.
Yes.
Exactly where I was hoping that we can get to, brother.
Yeah.
Because in the conference now, that puts us at 2-1.
2-1, right.
And you just want to be above 500, Ken.
Yeah, and that's the fight, and you know what you're headed against this weekend. So you just want to win every game that you can win.
Exactly.
That you're supposed to win.
There you go.
That you can that you're favored in, and or that looks to be in your favor. You want to win those games.
And that was a game I think we were not favored, but it was a game that we believed that we could win.
Right, exactly.
And then as Louisville showed up and we started playing that game, we realized that this was a game that we can get in there and we can do some things.
Right, and that was a good. I'm telling you, the first half, of course. We were kind of riddled with some mistakes, and just didn't play well the first half. I thought we just didn't something was off in that first half. But they were able to make adjustments in the second half, and were able to change the time of possession, change everything that they needed to change, and ended up coming out playing really well, and. We won the turnover battle, which we talked about.
Well, that was huge.
Yeah.
3-0 on that, coming up with 3 fumbles, getting the ball back in our possession, scoring off of those turnovers.
Yes.
Very important. Field position, those type of things. All the stuff that you have to capitalize on in the game, we managed to do that.
Exactly.
Coming off of a off week tends to be sometimes that the cause or the root problem of coming out a little sluggish in the first half. Right. Because Louisville is that team that once they find themselves, they're going to be pretty darn dangerous.
Yeah, we're pretty dangerous. The quarterback is he's an athlete.
Yes, he is.
And they got the other
Malik
kid,
Cunningham.
Malik Cunningham, and then they got the other kid, Tutu Atwell, that was a speed merchant for real.
Real. And that's what I was concerned about was that speed. But they didn't. They ran the ball more than I thought that they would.
Right.
But I do understand that Satterfield, and we talked about it last week, was a guy that likes to have a balanced offense.
Right.
But in their case, I really thought that they were going to stretch the field and test our secondary.
I thought they would too, because our secondary it bends and it breaks all the time.
All the time, yeah.
So I would, if it was me, I would try to move him around and get him in good matchup against safeties and against even cornerbacks, because once he gets loose, he's loose.
He's loose.
He's like our Amarian Brown.
Exactly.
He's their version of Amarian Brown to us, to them or whatever.
To them.
So it's just one of those things. It's just I was just glad we came away with a victory.
Yeah.
Glad to see the guys play hard in the second half. They didn't bow down or didn't get down on themselves because they were down at halftime.
Exactly.
So you just one of those things that you kind of you want to know who's going to lead. And we asked that question last week.
Yes, we did.
And we saw some guys emerge.
Yes,
we saw some guys emerge. Saw Jeff Sims grow up a little bit more.
Yes, he did.
Which is what you want to see from every game going forward. You want to see him taking those steps of maturation,
right?
Because it's a quick turnaround for him.
That's right.
You know what I'm saying? So it's going to be a really good situation. I'll tell you what, this kid, this 21 that we have.
Woo! We're going to have to put another 21 out there on the. So that's Calvin Johnson, and this one is who?
Yeah. I'm telling you that this kid is. and we are still talking about a freshman. Still talking about a guy.
Talking about a freshman.
Not too
that
far
will be
removed.
another freshman next year.
Yeah, exactly. That'll be a freshman again next year.
Yes,
and
sir.
and I don't blame Coach Collins for doing what he's doing. I'm getting as many young guys as I can on the field
Yeah.
and in game type situations and letting them play while we got a free run, while we got a free year of doing so, and then and you it's going to play dividends for you down the road. I mean,
I think that's one of the biggest benefits of this year is that we actually, it's almost like a mulligan year. You know what I'm saying? It's like the year that you can kind of go swing for the fences. If you kind of mess up, that's okay because you get the year back next year. And so it's one of those things where these guys are going to get a year of experience, though.
yeah,
That's some valuable experience. I mean, we're not in the Pac-12 or the Big Ten or, some of these other conferences that are going to have a modified season.
right.
We've got a full season out
Right,
here.
right.
And I really love the format, Ken. What do you like do you like the format so far?
I mean, it's been okay.
Yeah? Yeah?
It's been okay. I mean, what's not to love is football.
Well, yeah, I know. But
I mean-
to me, though, the schedule's a little bit more interesting.
I mean, yeah, just because you're playing in your conferences, not and it's just a conference games being played. I think that was a really smart idea.
Right.
From the standpoint of I think everybody around the country kind of realized travel's going to be kind of an issue this year.
Yeah.
So we'll stay as close to home as you possibly can,
Right.
and play within your conference, and you can have those things happen, and you can play teams that you don't normally play.
Right.
Like we don't normally play Florida State all the time, so we got a chance to play them. And if I kind of I'm football is football to me. I like watching it. Period. So I don't care who we playing against. I just want to see Georgia Tech out there playing,
Just playing some
Just
ball.
playing.
Well, the interesting fact is too that we still play UCF. Okay, that at the time was around 14 in the country. But that could have easily been swapped out for the number 3 team in the country.
Yeah.
That plays somewhere up there on the northern east side of the state.
Northeast Georgia. Yeah.
So, and that would have just made our strength of schedule just beyond and out through the roof
Yeah.
for who we are and who
Yeah.
we're playing. And
Yeah.
then, but from a player's perspective, it's something that we all desire to do. If we could play all the top teams in the country on a one schedule, you would want to do it.
Yeah.
Now, as a coach or something, they're like, no, I'm not trying to get all beat up like that and everything else. But at the same time, as a player, you love this competition.
Yeah, because I mean, you want to play against the best.
Yeah.
That are those that are supposed to be the best at the moment at the time. You want to play against those guys. You want to see where you match up at.
Exactly.
And if you can match up, and then once you get out and play, you kind of find out where you stand. But to get on that horse every week is a bit daunting for a coach unless you got some players.
Unless you got some players. It was really good, as you mentioned earlier, to see Jeff Sims kind of, break out a little bit. You saw a little bit of his character.
Yeah.
You saw him relax a little bit, have some fun. The awesome thing is that we're putting the ball in the end zone, Ken. To score 46 points is nothing to sneeze about. To be averaging over 450 yards a game is astounding.
Yeah.
You're doing it in a balanced way, over 200 yards rushing, 200 yards passing.
Right.
No turnovers, which was key. Did get, I think, a batted ball down and everything else in there. You and I were talking a little bit about the throwing motion of Jeff Sims and possibly it being the cause for some of the ways that the ball has been battered down. Had a chance to reach out to Joe Ham this week, talk a little bit about that. And there is something noticeable about that. And we both talked about, like to see his elbow get a little bit up in the air
Right.
to get a little bit better release. But at the same time, you don't really want to mess with it at this stage in their career and everything else, right? So it's one of those things he's going to have to work out with his feet.
Right.
And we talked about that. The extra step to the side, those little funny drills you used to see Peyton Manning doing, right? That might be something he may have to be working on.
All those drills mean something.
It means something.
It means something, yeah.
I mean, you have to create your throwing lanes,
Right.
okay? And so it's imperative to do that because We need to see that ball get down the field and allow our players to get the ball in their hands to make some plays.
Yeah.
And we saw Malachi Carter get a chance to do that.
Yes.
We saw, good Lord, boy, I hate getting old.
Number one.
Yes, absolutely.
The other number
the
one.
other number one. And stuff like that. Jalen Camp,
Camp.
okay, to get out there and to be able to do some things
Right.
and stretch their legs and do that. So it's important for these guys to get these touches and they be able to get out there and develop their games.
Yes, yeah. I thought 15. What you called his name? See, I'm doing
Carter.
you. You got me. You
Malachi
got me.
Carter, that's right.
Malachi
That's
Carter.
right.
Yeah. I thought he had a phenomenal game. That is so funny. I had it right on the tip of my tongue, and I was like, "Where'd it go? Where'd it go?"
Where did it go? See,
Oh,
it
God.
happens to all of us.
And I just turned 50, so
That's right.
That's what I'm gonna blame it on tonight. But like I said, Malachi did a really good job this week of getting open and ran good routes and did everything that he needed to do to make it himself available.
Right.
And he looked good once he caught the ball and was able to. The yards after catch was. I mean, that's what I always am concerned about when guys catch the ball. It's not just if you can catch it, but what can you do once you get it?
That's right.
And those yak yards. I thought they did a really good job. Who knew that all this talent was on this roster?
Well, and that's the thing. Well, and it's pleasing to see.
Right.
It's great to see. These guys put a lot of work in on the off season, but of course they had to do it all individually.
Right.
And so now it's kind of expected that the growth that we're going to see between them, the timing and all that kind of stuff, is going to get a little bit better every day.
Right.
And I think that kind of answered my question of not really seeing Amarian in play, right, with the long ball and that kind of stuff. That this stuff has got to work its way into the
the system.
And how we're doing out there. Shout out to all of our fans that are joining us today. Give a call to another Georgia Tech fan and let them know that we are live and to tune in with us. We got an awesome show set up for you guys today. I know you guys saw it on our webpage today. If you haven't, please like our webpage, join us, comment on our page, let us know what's going on, and enjoy and just ride with us with the player's perspective. But we've got wide receiver phenom, Mr. Bobby Rodriguez, that will be joining us on the show tonight. And so he'll be on with us in another 5 to 6 minutes. And Bobby Rod, man, he was a playmaker, baby.
Oh yeah.
He was a playmaker.
Without a doubt. You can go back in those late 80s or early 90s and see him all over the film.
all the film, all the time. All the highlight reels, you're going to see Bobby Rod.
Oh, yeah. That number 3 was making great catches. He was always, my most memorable time with him was probably beating Bruce Pickens to death. He beat Bruce Pickens like a drum. And then Atlanta turned around and drafted Bruce number 3 overall. I didn't understand it, but there it is.
Was Arsenio Hall used to say, make you go, okay. And so, but Bobby Rod's going to join us. And I mean, as a player, he came out of New York like myself. So another northern boy infiltrating the South. And getting down here and doing some things, but just had a knack to get beyond folks, okay, and to use some of that speed to get there and make some big plays for us. Very instrumental in our national championship run.
Yeah.
To spark momentum.
Yeah.
To get out there and to make those plays that we thought may not be possible, but defender in there waving his hand in front of him, but he still come up with the pass.
Right.
So the concentration factor was there, great hands, and great speed. And so as a teammate, we loved him to death, and we're so glad that he's going to be able to join us tonight and just let us know what's going on. So you guys stay tuned for that. Hey, Marcy, how you doing? Welcome. Welcome, Queen, my baby, for tuning in. You're supposed to be in choir practice. Stasha, okay, or Stacia, okay, McCrary, okay. We thank you for tuning in. My cousin out there on the West Coast, so A Player's Perspective is live from the East Coast to the West Coast tonight.
Who's the show sponsored by tonight?
And the show is sponsored by the Covington Agency, baby.
Okay.
Absolutely. Covington Agency is always present, always here for you to work things out. You all need any insurance? You guys have some questions? You're dealing with your car insurance? Your things are just not right. You need to reach out and give me a call at 404-596-3951. And we can actually get that taken care of, because the one thing you need to have is knowledge, and knowledge is power. Okay, and then know-how is key.
There you go.
All right,
There you go.
so we got to get that know-how going, brother. So my man Jimmy Link
Yes.
out here checking us out. What's going on, Mr. Entrepreneur out there? Okay, and what does he say? Say what up to Bobby for me. I sure will. I sure will. And afterwards, when we finish that, or during the interview, you guys text your questions, and maybe we can answer or ask him those questions while he's on the air with us. And then when he completes the interview today, if you want to call in and let us know maybe some of your memorable moments with Bobby Rod. But I tell you, the biggest thing for this, Ken, and we're going to do this every week and bringing on a different player. But this is 30 years from our national championship, brother. 30 years.
30 years.
Since 1990 in the national championship, and we want to bring several players on just to kind of reminisce a little bit, kind of pick at. Sometimes you get on YouTube and you just want to check out some stuff, man, and next you know it's like 2 hours gone, and you're just sat there watching everything. Yeah. But it's hard to believe, brother, that it's 30 years.
It's really hard to believe. I was looking at something today, and I heard my voice talking, and I didn't recognize the young man that was that was saying the words. It was funny to me because
check the sound, Kim. Check the sound. They're saying it's a little low out there.
I let somebody else listen to it, and they were like, "Oh my God." That was you for real. That was you. I was like, yeah, that's me.
Yes,
that's me. So it's just one of those things that
well, knowledge is wisdom, and then a little bit low key we get as we get a little older. But right then, when we were balling, baby, we had to let people know we were no punks.
Yeah. It was. I mean, and it was definitely a confidence that that we talked with.
That's
what I'm saying? It wasn't. We weren't boastful or braggadocious. It was just sincere confidence that we had that we didn't want anybody else to take our spot.
That's right. That's right.
At the moment.
Well, we can see possibly some of that going on with some of these guys right now. Some key players that we're starting to put together, Ken, and then we know we just got a guy that we lost in the recruiting battle out to Texas that now is going to return home and be playing with us with Mr. Kenyatta Watson, I think it is.
Right.
And so he's going to be back on the flats, a four-star athlete out of Grayson High School. And so the pieces are starting to come together, brother.
Oh, yeah.
And with that is a little bit more confidence, a little more building. It's kind of interesting. We're going into battle with Clemson, this weekend. But we can go back and look at some of those years when we kept, filing up their progress.
Right.
When they thought that they were starting to turn the corner, they come down to Bobby Dodd Stadium, when we go down there and we come out with a victory, right? And everybody's got their head and they just don't understand, winning the ACC championship, beating them twice, I think, that year, in 2009. And then some of the other battles that we've had recently. Now, they currently have a 5-game winning streak on us, and so they've turned things around. Of course, we've seen that.
Oh, yeah.
They're doing very well out there, but we're going to talk more about that later on. But right now, we got the star of the hour, the man that won't be sour, my man that's coming from Staten Island, baby, Staten Island, New York, and he's one of them damn Yankees that stayed in the South. And that's what they call us when we're here. But everybody, please welcome to the studio today on A Player's Perspective, Mr. Bobby Rodriguez.
What's up, fellas?
What's going on, brother? Ooh, they going crazy over you, man.
Crazy. Straight crazy.
I haven't heard that in a long time. Now I get eyes rolled at me and everything else. I don't get any cheers anymore.
You're probably like me. You get the daddy can I have. You know, you get that a lot.
Yep.
That's right.
I was trying to show my daughter some of my little plays on YouTube the other day, and all she did was roll her head back, and it was just what's that?
You old.
Right.
Did she ask you if they had videos when you were?
We so beyond that. I said, this stuff right here. She said, why is it fuzzy? B-Rod, thank you for joining us, brother. Talk to us a little bit about it. It's been a long time. We were just talking about how it's been 30 years since the national championship. You spent about a year maybe or so after I left, but also from the flats and leaving and exiting the flats. What you been up to, brother?
Oh, man, after 92, that was my senior year, and that's when I was done. At that point, Ross had went on.
Right.
And went to San Diego, and so I was left with Bill Lewis, which wasn't the, best experience, but, we had to ride it out.
Mm-hmm.
And, after I left, I didn't finish tech at the time. So I went on and tried to pursue some entrepreneurial ventures, and that entailed real estate investing for me.
Right.
Renovations, and got into the equities market. So ended up getting my Series 7 license, became a broker for that, ended up getting insurance license as well.
Mm-hmm.
So most of what I've done since I've been out has been in investments.
Gotcha.
From Forex to, even now into the crypto markets.
Okay.
But what I do in my day job, I got in recruiting because of my financial background. So I started working with Robert Half, hiring accountants and financial analysts and whatnot for companies, whether they were coming on full-time or temporary.
Mm-hmm.
And from there, I got an opportunity to work at Home Depot as a recruiter. And so now I'm going on my 6th year at Home Depot, and I am the sourcing manager for Home Depot. So we have a subsidiary at Home Depot. It's a services business. So it focuses more on the do-it-for-me customer, the customer that wants you to come in and do their HVAC work, their windows, and kitchen and things like that. So my job, my team, we actually identify and look to bring on the contractors that are doing the work and partner with us. So we take care of the business part, business development, and we bring on the workers to actually do the work, the subs.
Awesome, brother. And so I guess sometime in there you kind of found a beautiful wife and had a family and all that kind of stuff, right? So we had to grow up sometime, right?
Indeed, and that's the best part of all this is, I got married and beautiful wife, 12 years.
Awesome.
And I have a 22-year-old daughter, and then I wanted to go back in, I think, kind of like UT Cove, and have an 11-year-old daughter and also have an 8-year-old son. So, I am extremely busy with them now. My Saturdays, instead of sitting there watching the games, it's their game. It's soccer or basketball, running them to and from practices after school, which I truly enjoy, looking at it from, as you all have the name of your show is from a player's perspective. That's what I focus on teaching them is the mind of the game, and athletic talent will take care of itself, but if you can teach them how to think about the game and things like that, that'll take them a lot further.
Man, that's awesome. B-Rod, man, all I can remember as I'm sitting here talking to you and listening to the maturity in your voice. Of course, we met each other when we were 17 and 18 years old.
Yep.
And you had a black Ford Escort.
Yes. Yep.
And I remember the first time I ever got on 285. It was in Bobby Rod's Escort. Yeah. The first time I think we went down to we came down.
Club.
You said what now?
Had to be a club.
Oh, you already know. You know where I'm going. You know where I'm going. We went
Covington Highway, baby.
No, we didn't go to
What's
Cup.
up,
We didn't go. We didn't go to Covington Highway.
okay.
We went down to the Old National. That's when Old National was jumping back then. Old National was really jumping back
Was
then.
that the Tuesdays?
Yeah, it was
There
Fat
you go.
Tuesday.
There you go. There you go.
Fat Tuesday on Sunday night, man. But,
Ken, of all the good, all the things you can share, that's what you.
hey, my mind went back, dog. I had a moment. Now, but you know, out of all the things that we have kind of experienced, because we were suite mates for our first year at Georgia Tech, and you know, knowing all that good stuff. Talk about some of those good times, especially once we, you know, losing was tough, but let's just talk about the winning times when we started winning. What did you, you know, what was some of your more memorable moments during that time once we got everything kind of turned around and started winning ball games?
Well, the first part is y'all had to losing more than I did because I was redshirted. So, while y'all were busy out there, every time Willie came back, I was like, man, did we win? And he'd look at me and like, me and Sean Jones were out at the club on a Friday night while y'all out there playing. So, you know, I kind of got acclimated to college life, enjoyed it, man. And then serious business, you know, the redshirt freshman year, you know, I heard you all talking about Clemson, and, you know, that was a big game for us, and pivotal
Right.
in the program, where we kind of turned things around, and, you know, we went down in Death Valley, and, you know, kind of shocked. I don't remember if they were ranked at the time. It's hard to remember a time when Clemson wasn't ranked.
Yeah, they were always ranked, so
Yeah. And you know, I scored my first college touchdown. It was an 81-yarder in that game. And, you know, just the experience of playing in Death Valley, particularly as T. Cove was saying, someone from New York, you know, where college football in particular is not as big as it is down south. And so always watching games from New York of the games and, you know, imagining being in that atmosphere and then having an opportunity to go down there and play in a hostile environment. You all were talking about that earlier. That's what you want to do.
Right.
At least I did. I enjoyed that. And so to go down there and upset them, I don't recall what the score was, but I think we beat them pretty good.
Yeah.
And,
you know, that was
14 or something
you know,
like that,
one of the, yeah. That was one of the first taste of, you know, the W for me, at that time, and for us as a program, a big time win. And then, you know, things just kind of gradually turned around. And, you know, we played Maryland, and, you know, we started this streak. And, you know, it was just in Ross's, what was his third or fourth year?
Right.
Yeah.
Third year.
Third year.
Yeah, just turn things around because, you know, Ken, you were in my class, and I mean, we just had an awesome class.
Yeah. Our class was the beginning of. We always say we were the beginning of the turnaround. I know, you know, y'all. Tom, your class was
87 was the beginning of the turnaround, but to be what we were. I have no problems to admit, though, that class of 89,
88,
and 88. But 88, you know, 88 came with a lot of talent.
Yeah.
89 kind of completed that talent.
Right.
And it actually helped us to basically put everything together so that we can do what we did in 1990. Should have did it in 91, too. But I think we got a couple of big heads and all that kind of stuff out there. Right. But, you know.
Wonderful life lesson, right?
Exactly. B, like, you know, for me and you know, being up north, just like you mentioned, I mean, you know, Saturday afternoons, you know, back in those days, I mean, all we had was like ABC and all that kind of stuff. And we always saw Nebraska and Penn State and Michigan and all that kind of stuff. What actually got you down to Tech? What was your story of how'd you end up at Tech?
Man, it is nothing deep, brother. My wife can answer that question for you. It's when I came down to Atlanta, I was done.
You sound like
I can't lie.
Right.
I can't lie and say it was a program. We weren't good. You know, so I had people telling me from New York, they were like, "Why are you going to a basketball team?
Right.
Basketball school."
Right.
Because at the time, the basketball program was pretty respectable.
Right.
That's
they had
right.
Mark Price and Sally and whatnot,
Mm-hmm.
and Hammonds and whatnot, and so a little more reputation. And so it was Ross. His record at Maryland
Mm-hmm.
was, hey, the guys won there.
Right.
My coach actually knew O'Leary,
Okay.
and so O'Leary recruited me, and so it was another thing of I will have someone that actually will look out for me
Mm-hmm.
Right.
if I get out of line.
Mm-hmm.
Or just if I need somebody to talk to.
Right.
And O'Leary was always just a straight shooter. Anyway.
Straight
Oh, yeah.
shooter. Yes, sir.
And I could respect that and appreciate that out of him because, oftentimes you don't get a lot of that when you make that transition from high school to college.
Right.
So
Right.
to know you have somebody like that was a big deal for me as well, especially being 900 miles away from home.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And then, just to visit, bro.
Yeah.
You were my host.
Yeah. Oh, hey.
Remember that.
Well, I was just waiting for you to say it was because of me, but I mean, that's just kind of how we roll.
Lord.
But but no, I can totally understand, brother. I mean, because if you were like me, and we're going to go to a commercial real quick, and then we're going to bring you back. But just like me, in a way, I was looking to get out of New York, and all the places that I went, Atlanta became the prize. It became the place that looked like it had the most potential. It had the balance of everything that was going on. Because I really knew nothing about Georgia Tech until Ross came down here and brought us all down here. So it was just one of those things that I really enjoyed on my visit and what was going on down here. Shout out to Bug Isom and Nate Kelsey and all the boys and Low Daddy and all them kind of stuff that helped me. Yep, introduced me to the ATL, and but it was one of those things, boy.
What was it, the Phoenix?
And the Phoenix, that's right. That's it.
The Phoenix.
The Phoenix confettis. Look at her shouting them all out. That's it. Well, we're gonna go to a commercial. Come on back and finish up our interview with wide receiver phenom, Mr. Bobby Rodriguez. We'll be right back.
Are you experiencing fatigue? Can't seem to lose those unwanted pounds? Trouble focusing? Perhaps you need a really good detox regimen. Look no further. Begin your Tava lifestyle today. Visit kqtavana.tavalifestyle.com or call Queen Covington at 404-226-0973 for more info. Your health is your wealth, and it's right around the corner. Own it today.
All right. You're right back with us here at A Player's Perspective. And shout out to the Tava lifestyle out there. So you guys get your Tava, baby. I'm telling you, it works. So, B-Rod, are you are you watching? Are you able to see us on
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I got you on right now. You got the Tava up, but yeah.
There you go. And but hey, it was a picture that I wanted to introduce you. I wanted to see if you are familiar yourself with this picture, know where it came from. So we're gonna put that up there in a second. But 151 passes at Georgia Tech, 161 passes out of high school. It was a transition, but it was one that you did very well, brother. What was that like for you? Because I used to always fight with Rod Stevens and all them to let them know that we played ball up there in New York. But to come down here and to do our thing, we were good to go. So tell me what you thought about that transition of high school ball to Southern college football.
Well, the biggest thing, I don't know how. Well, definitely the hype,
Right.
and the notoriety and whatnot. I mean, it's it's unparalleled. I don't know what it's like in the West Coast or whether it's down in Texas, since they always say they do things bigger down there. But I mean, and then you see over the last couple of decades, you know, the SEC basically, or the ACC, they're doing their thing,
right,
as far as the best of the competition and whatnot. It was a great test. I mean, if anything, that was the thing for me. It was like, you know, I didn't know what we were getting ourselves into and how successful we would be. And
right.
I don't even think people knew, even from our team perspective, the recruiting class that we talked about. You know, if you go down the line on and I actually was watching the Virginia game today, just to kind of get that feel and vibe back.
Right.
And when you're looking down that line, you know, offensively, you know, my man E Double was balling that game.
Yeah.
You know, Emmett.
Yeah.
Right. And the same class, Sean was balling. Will Bell, like you said, he's the year he comes behind me.
Right.
In '89, and then, you know, the O-line was pretty much a lot of the your class, T-Cov, and prior to you.
Right.
And then defensively, you know, you had, I mean, each layer, you had Marco, you had Marlon, you had, Marlon wasn't in my class, but then you had Jarrell, you had Willie, and you had Swill,
right.
Curly Day.
Yeah.
Those guys, that's basically my class.
Yeah, dropping them names, baby.
Yeah, KP and, you know, Frank Scott and E-Bell, and I mean, you know, just a lot of fellas, and we were from all over the place.
That's right. That's right.
And I remember I talked to Ross about that, and he said that, you know, because Tech hadn't been doing well, it was hard for him to compete in the South, particularly in Georgia.
Right.
And so he said he had to go where he was strongest, and that's why you got a lot of that northern flavor with him, because that's where he was from. O'Leary was from, and so they can pull Marco from Dayton, right? And they can pull me from New York. They can pull Emmett from Jersey,
right?
You know, and E-Bell and UT Cov, you know,
Strong Island and effect Hempstead. What up?
Yeah, and so that was, you know, it was just the reality. I mean, I love the competition.
Right.
You come from high school, we're all balling, we're all pretty good, you know, we're all pretty respectable, and then you come down south, and this is where the best of the best is supposed to be.
That's right. So, right? B-Rod, tell me about this picture right here that's posted up here. Who's that cat?
Yeah, that's a high school. I could tell you that was actually a punt return.
Yeah, okay. Look at you.
A punt return.
There you go. What were your colors?
Blue and white and silver.
Blue, white, and silver. There you go.
Yeah.
Well, that's Bobby Rodriguez in true form, right there in high school. And then they said, Bobby Rod, that you got a very prestigious honor from Staten Island up there.
I did. I just got inducted into the Hall of Fame up there.
Woo! Nice. There you go, brother. Yes, sir.
Nice.
Got that big fat check.
Yeah. You know, that was humbling as well. Again, we just play for the fun of it.
Right.
There you go.
You know, you really don't really think about where it leads you and how people will recognize you after you're gone. And to receive that award, and that was, you know, we're talking about a 30-year national championship.
Yeah.
You know, that was 40-something years ago. I'm like you, Ken. I just turned 50 in January.
Yeah.
You know, to get that and be recognized, you know, it was very humbling. And again, all we were doing was just playing and having fun.
Yep. That's it. And that's the thing about it. You know, I look back now at some of the stuff that we had a chance to accomplish. Yeah, and it seems so surreal because, I mean, you know, you got kids, I got kids, you know, it's just one of those things that's just, it's just amazing to me. I'm looking at a picture of myself like, that can't be me, you know, and then sometimes you get away, once you get away from it, you know, the game kind of gets out of your system a little bit because it takes a minute to get over it. You have to really remember that it really happened. That really did happen.
It really did happen. I really did do that, or I really didn't do that, you know. That's some crazy stuff. Tell us a little bit about what your views are about the current program, what's going on the flats right now. There's some exciting stuff happening. Recruiting's getting a little better out there. We're starting to get some ballers on the field, but we still got a long way to go. But give us some ideas of what you see out there from a player's perspective.
Yeah, and so I have been able to be, as a result of the virus that we're dealing with right now, the pandemic we're dealing with. I've actually had an opportunity to sit down and watch some games.
Mm-hmm.
Whereas in the past, like I said, I'm usually out with my children, so I don't really get to see anything.
Right.
But and to be quite honest, and I've always been that way, is I really didn't want to watch it after a while when I was seeing what I was seeing.
Right, right.
The energy level and enthusiasm just wasn't there.
Mm-hmm.
And then just having an opportunity to watch Collins a few times, the energy that he brings,
right,
intrigues you.
Right.
And, the systems that they're running is like, okay, now, we can have an opportunity to do some things. We can have some balance. And I was listening to you all earlier, that balance is vital. That was one of the things about us, right?
Mm-hmm. That's right.
We were a balanced team. It was hard to stop because, not only were we balanced as in whether we can run a pass, but players.
Right.
You couldn't just key on one person because if you focused on one offensively, we can just bring somebody else in. It could be Jeff Wright who run the rock, or throw it to Greg Lester, or throw it to somebody else. So it's good and refreshing to see. See they have their depth in their running back. I like the running back that they have.
Mm-hmm.
He looks like a true baller. His name Gibbs, or something like that.
Yeah. Jameer Gibbs.
Yeah. He looks real smooth back there, fast. The quarterback, he looks young.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Which again, I'm cool with that. We were young at one point, and
that's right.
Sean Jones looked like that at one point.
Right, that's right.
Even
talking to Joe Ham today, Joe Ham said I was like that. I think he had a 7 picks or something in his freshman year. So
yeah. And you alluded to something earlier that the biggest, for me, the hardest part of the transition was the X's and O's.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
There you go.
And so I can imagine for a quarterback, it's they got to know everything out there.
Right.
So,
right.
That slows them down, and thinking too much, and after a while, then now it's like I'm making too many mistakes. Now I don't want to do any. I don't even want to make a decision.
Right.
I don't even want to do anything. So, but I think it is gonna definitely continue with the recruiting as you mentioned.
Mm-hmm.
I was going back and forth with Marco last week,
mm-hmm.
And we were just talking about how the team. He said that they're turning around, they're doing some things better, and I was just kind of just talking about our experience.
Right.
Same thing. We were young.
Right.
We had all this potential. We were young, but it took us a while.
Mm-hmm.
I was a redshirt sophomore, so it was my third year at Tech. I'm only my second year playing that we turned that corner.
Right.
And we got acclimated to the game, and now instead of thinking about assignments and what I'm supposed to do, now you just go out there and play.
Yeah. Right. And that's what makes it fun when you can stop thinking like that. When you can stop, get out of your head and really just be on the field playing, and the game kind of slows down, and you're not worried about making a mistake. You're in a position. You've watched enough film. You know how to study now. You know what to look for.
Mm-hmm.
You know all of those things. So once you do that, the game really does slow down. And it makes it a lot easier for you to play.
Yeah.
I can just remember standing on the sideline watching Jay Martin in my true freshman year light somebody up, just blow them up in practice, and I was just like, "Good Lord, these cats are just like everything was just so fast." And then it was just like all of a sudden that sucker just all came into play and into focus to where you felt like you can play.
Right. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Well, B-Rod, we greatly appreciate you taking some time out your schedule, brother, and coming on here with us. So the player's perspective, you raised our stock by about 8% tonight. And so we appreciate that. We welcome you back, man, anytime. We're going to have you probably, if we can, get you back later on in the season as we get some of these other brothers on and everything else. But brother, so good to hear from you. We only got an hour show. I know we can talk for 3 hours, if we can put that there. But I appreciate you, brother.
Yeah, and I appreciate you all. Good to see you, Ken.
Yes, sir.
Talk to you, Ken.
Yes, sir.
T-Cov. Love you, brothers. And
yes, sir.
definitely, hopefully this pandemic will pass and we can actually get some time to see each other and
Fellowship
get some
again.
hugs and
Yeah.
just catch up.
That's it. Well, folks,
Love what
that
you're
is
doing.
Bobby Rodriguez. That's it, my man from Staten Island, and coming down to join us here on the Player's Perspective. We wish you well, brother. Thanks you for so much for coming on the show.
Yeah.
Have a great one.
All right.
Stay safe.
Woo. Oh, they just going crazy
Going
over
crazy
here.
about Rod.
Y'all
Right.
need to calm down. Calm down. That's what I'm talking about. Giving that brother some love, though. That's what I'm saying.
I got a younger sister. I meant to mess with Bobby about 'cause she was crazy about Bobby.
Was she?
She was younger. She was my young sister though.
Okay,
So
gotcha.
she's my baby sister.
Baby
She's
sister.
the only one I got.
So you need to calm yourself down.
Yeah. So I was, you need to calm yourself down, sister.
Well, you know, he wasn't the ugly brother. He,
Well,
you
you
know,
know, yeah,
Pretty
no.
Ricky, what they call him.
Pretty Ricky, what they called him. Yeah.
Oh, good. But
Yeah.
that was some good stuff, man. It's just amazing how fast time goes, and you're just trying to talk and bring some stuff into perspective here. But that was great to hear from Bob. Bob, I'm telling you, he made some serious plays in those games, and really brought people up out of their seats.
Yeah. Oh yeah. And then like I said, we were talking off air about some of the plays he made. One of the most memorable plays was I wasn't even playing in the game against Virginia in '91, but on that sideline, it was a toe touch kind of grab where he was leaning out of bounds to make a catch, man, and it was simply amazing. But yeah, Bobby was tough to go against in practice every day.
Yeah.
Because he was one of those guys that could ran nice routes and he knew how to get on top of you. And once he got on top of you, it was over with. You wasn't gonna catch him.
Is it the route running? What is it, or is it just pure speed that gives a guy a better knack of doing that and getting over the top of defenses?
Yes,
What attributes to that?
Route to me it's route running.
Okay.
Period. You're a guy that can not have any tails as to what he's going to do. He runs every route the same,
Right.
until you get to that point where he's got to do whatever.
Okay.
And then all of a sudden he's in a 7 cut, or boom he's in the post on you,
Right.
or boom he's hooked up on you, or he's
Yeah.
done something a little different. But I always like those guys. Always like to be in press coverage against them because you could kind of stifle them off the line.
Yeah.
Now if you miss, it's gonna be tough if you miss. But for the most part, especially guys like Bobby and Emmett. Emmett was a little different because Emmett, his route running was a little different. He had little tails.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So
he was more like a possession type.
right, he was a possession type guy.
And then Bob was the
He was the
burner.
He was the burner. He was gonna get on top of you.
Yeah.
And then most time, if the ball was there,
Yeah.
he was gonna make a play on it.
But Emmett would find that niche to
He
get
knew
behind
how to
you
get
too.
open.
He knew how to get open. To me, the parallel was Willie Clay on defense and Emmett on offense.
Right.
Two guys that could just do it.
Yeah, he
And
just
get
do
it
it.
done.
He just get it
And
done.
you just didn't know how.
Right.
Just
You
didn't
like-
know how.
You like he's not faster than me. He's,
Right.
he's not this. He's not that. But next thing you know, he's in the end zone. Doing his patented, throwing the ball up. And all this
right.
stuff. So it's just one of those things.
Well, shout out to Audrey Dempsey Branch
Yeah.
joining us tonight. And she's talking about calm down. She's talking about calm down. And she always hype.
Yeah, well, we get a little hype when we talk to our boys. It's hard for us. It's hard for us not to be excited when we talk to them because we don't get the chance to see them all the time. And as we're talking to them, y'all got to understand our minds are racing back 30 years.
30 years.
And we go back to a moment, and it's gonna be one day y'all gonna catch us in a moment where y'all gonna be like, y'all realize y'all on Facebook, right?
All your business out there.
all your business in the street. You know what I'm saying? So, there are certain people that will, we can never forget the guys that we played with
Right.
because the bonds are just there.
Right.
It's amazing to me. Like we talked about before. Can't believe it's been 30 years. Can't believe some of the stuff we went through to get to that point.
Right.
And I'm just glad that that we had an opportunity to be together.
There you go.
And to share in that. You know what I'm saying?
There
So
you go.
that's pretty good. He talked about beating Clemson. I wish we could beat Clemson this weekend.
I really do, and we're gonna right after this commercial, we're gonna get into that, and we're gonna lay out what we see, what we've seen, how these guys have actually put together Another successful season. They're currently 4-0 right now. They don't appear to have any weaknesses. They're pretty much playing on all cylinders. But we do know that on any given Saturday, okay, something can happen, something can change.
Yep.
And right now we're looking at a Georgia Tech team that's starting to kind of identify who they are and how they can put this season together to be one of a successful team moving forward. Okay. Yeah. And so right after this commercial, we're going to come on back. We got a commercial with Vita Woods and Remax. And as soon as she finishes up with that, we're going to come back and we're going to lay into this game and what's going on out there. So you guys stand by.
Hello, this is Vita Wood of the Vita Wood Realty Network of RE/MAX around Atlanta, specializing in helping buyers and sellers realize their real estate dreams. Luxury home liquidation, bank-owned homes, short sales, new construction, development, resale, relocation, commercial, and property management. I guarantee to sell your home in 89 days or less at your price, or I'll buy it or take over the mortgage payments. Buyers, if I don't save you at least $5,000 on your next purchase through my VIP buyer program, I'll pay you the difference at closing. Call me today. Don't delay. Vita Wood. Start packing. 678-860-3588.
There you have it, Miss Vita Wood of RE/MAX. So appreciate that. And check her out, y'all, at the website. If you got so many needs in real estate, check her out, check her out, check her out. And so, Ken, here we are. Okay, 4-0, 2-2. 12 noon on Saturday.
Yeah, that's when all the important games are played.
ABC. But we on ABC.
Yeah.
And so in a way, I tell you what though, we were joking about that, kind of want to get that game out the way, kind of situation. But at the same time, everybody all week is looking forward to football.
Yep.
And so that 12 o'clock kickoff is something that a lot of people are looking forward to do that. Now we can showcase that on a more of a global or regional footprint to really get some exposure out there. So keys to this game, buddy. A lot of people like to talk about that. But going in, we are showing a lot of balance on both offense, on passing and rushing. We see these guys opening up a little bit more. What do we need to do from your perspective on the offensive side to get this game started on the right track on Sunday?
I'd like to see us come out and be aggressive, but yet patient. You know what I'm saying? And run. We have that balance that we often talk about with running and with the run and the pass. But I'd like to see some sustained possessions.
Okay.
That end up eating up the clock and keeping the ball out of Trevor Lawrence's hand.
Well, I agree with you. It's almost like a four corners type of situation where we got to eat up some clock, but then we still got to put some points on the board.
Still got to put some points on the board and still got to be, do enough to get where we need to be and get the ball into the end zone or through the uprights or whatever we got to do in order to get points on the board. You want to have long, sustained drives. But at the end of the day, you want to score points as well.
Right.
And I think that would help us along the way if we can find any way to shorten the game.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And kind of control time possession, because you know what Clemson's going to do. They're going to come out and they're going to boom, 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 boom. They're going to be in that pace and be in that frenetic pace of going down the field.
Right.
And, as I watch them offensively, they're different. They're a little different than they have been the last few years. I know Trevor Lawrence he's got that total command of the offense now. This is his third year in the system and all that good stuff. Etienne is who he is,
right,
and all that good stuff. They got really good receivers, but they, it's almost like they're looking like they can score when they want to.
Right.
So, from our offensive perspective, we have to be able to hold on to the ball as long as we can.
Yes.
And do it in a pace that will kind of stymie them and slow them down.
Keeping the ball out of their hands is going to be the key. Getting to me, we have to dictate that tempo. of what's going on. We have to be disruptive this weekend. Find a way to be disruptive on the defensive side of the ball to get the pressure, okay, to get in the face. Don't allow Trevor just to get back there like he's been doing for 4 weeks and making a ham sandwich back there before he throws the ball.
Right.
Just to looking around and deciding who he wants to go to this time.
Okay. So he doing his hair.
Doing his hair, you know what I'm saying? Got the old mirror out and stuff like that. So we're going to have to find a way to do it. Now, if you kind of look at what we did last year, you know, early in the game, we were able to do that. We're going to have to basically disrupt some things, and I think we're going to have to get that change that up a lot. Now, like we said, if they're not in the film room this week, then, you know, pretty much
shame on them.
Shame on them. But at the same time, this is going to be one of those games where, you know, we're going to be outmatched. We're going to have a lot of things that's going to go on, but you never go into a game believing that you cannot compete.
Yeah.
And I do believe that we do have enough to do that.
Right.
All you have to do is create a couple of unexpected turnovers, unexpected pass breakups, basically third downs where we get them 3 and out or stop them from converting or slow down a drive, make a guy jump and kill a drive because, they holding you or they got a false start. So these are the kind of things that we got to do is find a way that we can get into their head, Ken, and get that game basically in a way that we want to play it, dictating that tempo.
Well, Clemson gives away a tight game every year, so hopefully they'll give us one. They'll give away one to us. You know,
we need to make posters, instead of be posters for people.
Yeah, and we need to be ready to play at noon. And like I said, that's a tough time to play. That's a tough time slot. We kick off at
early, right?
12:08. Because you don't understand, people at home, you don't understand to play at a 12 o'clock game. You got to be up by like 5:45.
Yeah.
Just to get everything you need to be done pregame, and then most of the time 3 hours before the game, 4 hours before the game, you're at the stadium already.
Exactly.
And then you getting yourself ready and doing.
You gotta eat early enough so the food can digest.
Right.
So the coaches got you up.
Right.
You're not sleeping in until 9 o'clock in the morning, and then just hopping on a bus.
You're doing meetings. You're doing everything that you need to be doing to get ready to play.
So coming from their side, still a very strong running game. ETN has been showing out there.
He's stronger and faster.
Now, the one thing that I've seen about him, is that he's like a juggernaut, okay? When he's still, as long as you keep him from getting going, you can control him.
Yeah.
Okay, so laying some hits on him early, wrapping up, tackling, those type of things can really contain his game.
Right.
But if you let him get out there and start striding, we're going to have some problems.
Right.
Because you're not going to catch him.
You're not going to catch him, not too often. And I think he's an angle burster, I believe, because he's that guy that, that breaks all angles.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So it's just one of those things where I just want the guys to come out from us, and we talk about it every week. It's still about us, though. It's still about us.
Every week will be about us,
right?
Sure.
And you got to come out and you got to play with heart, play with effort. We've seen things in our own life where, I was looking back at the Virginia game. Bobby was talking about it, and I admitted on an interview, that we didn't know if we could stop them or not.
Right.
It was like we just didn't know. Dog, can we stop them?
I heard, one of the, I think it was it Wilkerson that did a lot of that too, the write-ups and the books and all that kind of stuff. And he said a couple of players even mentioned at halftime, that they just didn't want to get blown out.
Right.
And that was something I wasn't privy to.
I didn't know that either.
I didn't hear that.
Because all I knew in the locker room, everybody was saying, "Oh, we got this.
We got this." Exactly. So I was trying to figure out who were those people.
I don't know. And all I know is when we were in the when we were on the sideline after they scored like their first two or three touchdowns, we were looking at each other like, Come on what we got?
Right.
TJ Ellis came over to me and Balk was like, "Hey man, can y'all stop him? Just a little bit, just one step. Can y'all stop him at all?" And I was like, "Oh, bro, I don't know, man.
I don't know.
But the thing changed. It turned around. And that's what you got to have. You got to have people that once that thing start to turn,
Yeah.
and we believe this thing,
Right.
now let's go. You know.
Well, I think that we're going to have to mix it up. I think Pat Nall's going to have to open up the playbook a little bit. Screens, quick passes out there, short passes, controlling the tempo, getting them sucked in and then going over the top. Amarian Brown even had him a nice one over the top last year. So we're going to have to learn how to when to stretch it and that kind of thing. But all in all, we've got to be on top of our game. Yeah. We can't have overthrown passes, underthrown passes. We can't have any fumbles. We can't have guys getting out there missing key blocks and then, of course, crapping your pants and causing unnecessary penalties.
Penalties, right.
So it's going to be one of those things where, we're going to have to play a perfect game.
Right.
And doing that, but also we got to get into and take advantage of any weaknesses that Clemson avails.
Yeah, if any opportunity they afford us, we need to take advantage of it.
We need to take advantage of it and make that happen. Yeah. So I'm looking forward to the game. You guys, I know you all too. And it's at 12 noon on Saturday, ABC. Check it out, y'all. And then let's talk and have a conversation. We'll probably come on at halftime and kind of give an update about what we see. But we want to believe that our Yellow Jackets have an opportunity to do that. But I'll tell you, all in all, I want to see us get better.
Yeah.
And I want to see us compete on Saturday.
There you go.
That's what I want to see us do. So we thank you all for joining us this week on another episode of A Player's Perspective, man. We love y'all. Y'all keeping us going out here and keeping us viable. And on there, they're talking to us now in negotiations of having another season next year already. So, we're getting that taken care of. Production has done a great job with our set. And so everything is looking good out here. And so we appreciate again Bobby Rodriguez for joining us today on the show. We look forward to even more. Let us know who you guys want to hear from. Yeah. And then we'll reach out to them and get them on the show as well. But you guys have an awesome week. And we love y'all. Take care of yourself. Root for them Jackets. Go Jackets, Jackets for life. Peace.
Peace.
Hello, this is Vita Wood of the Vita Wood Realty Network of RE/MAX around Atlanta, specializing in helping buyers and sellers realize their real estate dreams. Luxury home liquidation, bank-owned homes, short sales, new construction, development, resale, relocation, commercial, and property management. I guarantee to sell your home in 89 days or less at your price, or I'll buy it or take over the mortgage payments. Buyers, if I don't save you at least $5,000 on your next purchase through my VIP buyer program, I'll pay you the difference at closing. Call me today. Don't delay. Vita Wood. Start packing. 678-860-3588.
Are you experiencing fatigue? Can't seem to lose those unwanted pounds? Trouble focusing? Perhaps you need a really good detox regimen. Look no further. Begin your Tava lifestyle today. Visit kqtavana.tavalifestyle.com or call Queen Covington at 404-226-0973 for more info. Your health is your wealth, and it's right around the corner. Own it today.